Hey Wisebread readers, I am here with Tom Drake from Canadian Finance Blog, one of the most well-known personal finance blogs in Canada. Tom, I want to thank you for being here with us tonight to share some of your insights about personal finance.
Hi, Ashley. Thanks for having me.
I'm very excited to talk to you. Canadian Finance Blog is extremely well known in the personal finance blogosphere. It's been nominated for the Plutus Award for Best Canadian Personal Finance Blog 3 times and has won once. Could you tell me a little bit about Canadian Finance Blog and what inspired you to start blogging?
Well, originally I started reading a few different Canadian blogs, and I sort of had an interest in finances all at once. In 2008, we got married. Soon after that, we had a kid on the way, and we bought a house, all in a 6-month span. Uh, so obviously there was a big interest in finances all of a sudden, and after reading a few Canadian blogs, I decided I could kind of add my own spin with my own blog, so I started that up in early 2009.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, obviously, like you said, you got married and you have kids. How do you make sure that your family lives a frugal lifestyle?
I think the biggest thing for me is we never pay full price for anything. If it's groceries, we shop flyers. We shop at Costco a lot. Find deals online. I literally think we probably don't pay full price for almost anything we buy.
That is awesome. And do you get your sons in on that and kind of teach them that frugal mindset?
I'm trying to, yeah. They help look through the flyers now. They don't really know what they're looking at, but they're happy to try it out.
Awesome. That's great. What do you think is the most important financial conversation that families should be having?
I think the biggest one is probably spending within your means. We've had issues with this ourselves in the past too. If you're spending more than you're taking in, it's going to be a big problem. Not necessarily budgeting. I'm not a huge fan of doing a real budget, but at least making sure that your cash flow is positive.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Between managing your blog and, raising your sons and being a husband, and I know you work as a financial analyst, it seems like you're very, very busy. What tools or apps do you use to kind of help you manage your time and make your life easier?
I'm a big fan of things like Gmail and Google Drive. Everything's tied in nicely on my Galaxy phone. Without all that kind of online connection between my laptop and my desktop and my phone, I wouldn't survive.
I definitely understand that. I hear what you're saying with that. So I know that you own Drake Media, and Canadian Finance Blog isn't the only site you run. I know you have a whole portfolio of sites that I'm sure just keeps you extremely busy. So obviously you're very entrepreneurial. I'm curious to know what the best advice for someone who wants to start their own business would be, in your opinion.
I'd say to look at what other people are doing and kind of combine the best of whatever it is you're looking to do, but differentiate yourself and improve upon it. Like, I wasn't the first Canadian blogger. I saw what other people were doing, and I found where I could fit within there. And lots of other businesses do that. Apple isn't the first one to invent the phone or the MP3 player, but they did it better after the fact.
Awesome. And do you have any money saving tips for someone who wants to start their own small business, just to keep costs low as they get off the ground and start having revenue come in?
Almost like my personal finance tip of keeping your cash flow positive. Start small and don't outspend your income. Depending on the kind of business, you might need a business loan for sure, but at least make sure the payment is manageable for the money that you're bringing in. Don't sort of overstretch yourself to the point that you're going to kind of sink your business before you get started.
Interesting. And just random question off the cuff, what has been one of the most difficult things about, starting your own business that, some of the lessons that maybe you've learned as you've, progressed and grown Drake Media?
Keeping the expenses in line is a big one for me. For the longest time, I've always been willing to spend most of the money I've made to grow the business, but looking back at it, like if I had kept the expenses more in check, I would have had more actual income from the business over the last 5 years.
Interesting, interesting. So I'm sure that, keeping in touch with your family and friends when you're, traveling or trying to keep in touch with clients and whatnot is important to you, and doing so in a frugal way is probably important. Since you and I are chatting using Skype, I'm curious to know, what are some of your favorite ways to use Skype?
I chat with a lot of bloggers on Skype every day in various groups and one-on-one. We also use it a lot with the grandparents. They want to see the grandkids, so we bring it up on the tablet kind of thing, and they use Skype that way to see the kids. So yeah, a little bit of family long distance and just chatting with other bloggers.
Fantastic. Well, Tom, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us and share some of your tips and tricks. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Thanks for having me. It's fun.
Thanks, Tom.